So someone recently DM'd me this: "You suck for doing a sponsorship with that brand. Can't believe I thought you were cool." Oh no, you guys, nor. And I was literally like, wow, I haven't disappointed someone like that since I told my mom that I wanted to move out and go to university on the other side of the country. And it was so funny because like that kind of energy that I thought you were different. I thought you were so cool. I thought you were different. Like, it's not new to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that I grew up with, something that I experienced at home for such a long time. And now I'm like experiencing it on the internet. And it's like, interesting. Growing up in an African household, especially as the eldest daughter, even just as a daughter, but as the eldest daughter especially. Sorry guys, I have eldest daughter syndrome. Sorry. You know, you become who you're expected to be. This respectful, non-confrontational, reliable, never too loud, never too much type of person. But the issue with that is once you step out of that, and which usually happens once you hit teenagehood or you're veering into adulthood, and you start to like use your brain more and be like, and you start to question how your family maneuvers, right? That's when they start to be like, oh, you were never like this. Why are you being so disrespectful now? Yet you're just standing up for yourself, you know? Like you finally step out of that version of yourself that they propped you up to be, set you up to be, whether that be you're choosing your career, you're choosing how you want to lead your own life. And since it veers away from this version of you that they created, that they wanted you to be so bad, you're now being called a disappointment. Now you're being questioned, right? But the reality of it is just like, you're just choosing yourself now. Like, and I swear this connects. Hold on, don't click off. I swear this connects. I think something that I'm not like super open about this, but from the spring up until now, I've been in a very difficult financial situation, and it only got worse, if you will, due to the fact that I had family members pass away and I needed to be back home. So just buying plane tickets last minute, and just a lot of things had happened that kind of put me in a situation where I'm kind of still recovering from just a difficult financial situation. So me taking this deal wasn't just some random rage bait type situation. It was me really looking at the situation from a lens of like, how can I get myself out of this? Because I'm in between a rock and a hard place, right? How can I get myself out of this? And then this deal came to my team and I, and it was a number that honestly would put me in such a healthy place financially come the new year. And I get it from the outside looking in. You're probably like, I would have never done that. I would have never taken that deal. If I were you, I would never, blah, 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 blah. I understand where you're coming from, but so many people seem to make these like assumptions of how you would react in a situation, but it's so much more different when you're in it. It's so much more different when you're struggling financially and you have an offer that can get you out of that financial struggle and also be able to extend aid to your family, to the people around you, to causes, right? Like before, I'm struggling so bad, I can't help nobody. Sorry. I was just thinking about how like, yeah, nobody really knew that I was struggling financially. So I was just making people laugh or making people feel connected or making people feel XYZ on the internet. So as long as they felt those happy emotions, it was like, okay, well, I got my key, like, who gives a fuck about you, bitch? Or at least that's how I saw it in my head, because that's kind of just the nature of relationships online. You have a parasocial relationship with someone. It doesn't extend to like, how are they doing really? You know, it's just like, oh, I love this person so much, they make me laugh. I love this person so much, they have cool style. I love this person so much, XYZ. As long as I'm putting a smile on their faces and I'm like performing happiness, which I am a happy person, like I'm happy, but like as long as their performance is not interrupted in any way, no one questions how the person on the other screen is like doing, you know? Whether in the case of social media or even with my family, like once you make a decision that prioritizes yourself, and in my case, I was kind of like prioritizing my stability over people's perception of me. It's a moral crisis. Like I'm the worst fucking person ever. You know, people have told me that me and my family should go and burn in hell. Like over this. But yeah, it's just like all of this reminded me of my dynamic growing up. As long as I was performing the version of myself that my family wanted, that my family needed me to be, everything was fine. Everyone was happy. Like was I ever happy? You know, I grew up in a household that lacked emotional intelligence. And if you've grown up in the same situation, it is probably it makes your life so difficult for no reason. Like, you come out of that environment a complete people pleaser, and honestly, like a shell of yourself. You don't have the tools to look inward and question and show up as who you really are. You were never given the space to do so. Like, you do know how to show up as the perfect daughter because you have been given those instructions. If you follow this XYZ criteria, you're going to be the perfect daughter. But because of said criteria, even if that criteria does not match with how you feel inside, because of that criteria, you don't know how to be you. Like, you don't know how to say no without feeling guilty as fuck. You don't know how to rest without shame. And you most definitely do not know how to show up as yourself because you don't know who that person is. No one taught you that was allowed. No one taught you that showing up as yourself makes life just so much more beautiful and fruitful. So like, when you step into the real world, you're like, okay, I know how to perform. I know how to show up the way other people want me to show up. You know, how to make them laugh, how to appear like I have it all together. But like, who am I when no one's watching? And this is really something that I wrestled with, especially in my early 20s, especially when I had finally left my family home and I was thrusted into the real world. It was my mom who I was following her criteria to show up as the perfect daughter. Now that she wasn't there and I was cultivating my own life for myself, I had no clue who she was inside. I find all of this very similar to content creation. Honestly, like, you can get caught up in the performance of it all. The version of yourself that people fell in love with. It can make it really easy for you to forget the version of yourself that like is you when no one's watching. And this is not to say, oh, I'm putting on a facade or a fake version of myself. No, but it's not like I'm screaming motherfucking breakfast every 2 seconds and like jumping off the wall, blah, 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 whatever. You know what? No, I am. And I always just think about how grateful I am that the audience that I have now, I gained now at 27 years old, because although I wanted this so badly when I was younger, especially my early 20s, I don't think she would have been able to handle this. At that time, I was still trying to heal from an environment that caused me to not have been able to handle this. Like, I was still figuring out what the hell a boundary is. It took me such a long time. To this day, I struggle a little bit, but boy, am I so much better at putting up those boundaries for myself. I swear, like, if this type of visibility had come at me in my early 20s, it would have felt super suffocating, even though it was something that I wanted. But I feel like now I can hold space for it. I can separate criticism from absolute cruelty. You know, I feel like I can have a healthier relationship with this because I have a healthier understanding of who I am and what I prioritize. And I want to prioritize my health, safety, security, so that I can extend that to other people. Because how on God's green earth can I pour from an empty cup, you know? I can also see this disappointment that a good number of people felt from me doing this deal. I can see why they feel the way that they feel. You know, and I totally understand it. And whether this disappointment is coming from a stranger online or if it's coming from my mom, I understand that it doesn't mean that I am doing anything wrong. It means that I'm growing, and it means that I'm making decisions that will help me in the long run and allow me to help other people in the long run also. I'll close off with this, right? This is what I've learned. When you start choosing yourself, you will disappoint someone. It is inevitable, whether it's your mom, whether it's your followers, or it was the version of you trying to survive. Someone is not going to like it. But if you're disappointing everyone except yourself, maybe it's a sign that you're finally doing something right. I don't know. I guess it's never too late to be a disappointment. You're gonna disappoint someone every single day. And hey, listen, I'm not talking about the type of disappointment that's gonna put you in harm's way, okay? I'm talking about healthy disappointment. Just to be clear, we're talking about healthy disappointment and not the kind that's gonna put you in harm's way, all right? You hear me? Okay, I gotta go pack. I'm going to Vancouver. A vlog coming soon. Illy.